Welcome to the Entrepreneur Insider Secrets podcast. Excited to be able to spend some time with you again today talking about growing your business. Today's topic is why being great at what you do isn't enough and what actually drives growth. So, we are talking about something today that I know is a problem for a lot of people because I have met so many people in life that are really, really good at what they do. And these aren't just entrepreneurs. These aren't just people that want to start a small business. These are people who are recent college graduates who went to college, they studied their tails off, who learned some amazing skills and now can't find a job doing what they love. Or people who became incredibly skilled at what they do and now want to go out and coach people and are having a very difficult time finding clients. And a common thing that I see all the time with people who are in the coaching business or who are in the professional services type space is they developed a skill at something and they become very good at it. There's no question. They absolutely have talent in this area. And they're going out and they're going to proceed to, find some clients. And they start off and they get a client or two or maybe even three. They may have a couple of clients out there that they already are dialed into and like, great, I can already start working with them. And they're all excited because their business is already off the ground. And they're very happy, they're very excited, and they're going very, very well. And I look at them and I go, okay, that's great. And I kind of do it with a bit of a smile and also a little bit of apprehension for them for the very simple reason that I know what's coming. Because you see, here's the thing that I know is like they learned to do a skill just like those college graduates did. They learned a skill and they become and many of them are very, very good at that skill. They're very good at it. And some of them may have stumbled into a starting point. Like I said, like I know people that start off already has a client or two that they can work with. That's great. But there's something missing in the story that's eventually going to catch up to them. Something that's not going to work after a period of time. And that is, while they became very, very good at the skill, the thing it is that they're doing, they have yet to master the skill of acquiring clients. They have yet to master the skill of how to market themselves. They do not yet understand how to get the word out about and effectively about what it is that they do. And that's really the first problem, because here's what happens is I see this all the time is like, I already get a couple clients. I'm already working with them. This is great. This is amazing. And they start working with them. And then the project goes for a period of time and you start working with them. And after a period of time, the project ends, which is normal. You're like, I'm going to work with this person. We're going to work out. I'm going to take care of it and get it to the end. Great. And now the project's over. Now the project ended. And guess what? There's nothing else to do over here. That the customer, the client, whatever it was that they needed, they're completed now. That part of what the journey is done. They have said, okay, great. I hired you to do the X, Y, and Z for me. We now are officially done with that part of it. And so I don't need you for anything else at this point. Very normal. And then the coach or the course creator is sitting there going, or the person providing the services, I guess, would be more accurate, is sitting there going, now what do I do? And then they start networking and they start calling people and they start doing these things and they start going down this path of like, okay, what do I have to do? Do you know anybody that can use help with this? Do you know anybody that's looking for this type of work, help in this area? Do you know anybody? And maybe you'll get another client or two, but now you're faced with the reality of, even though you're good at what you do, even though you're highly skilled, even though you're a very talented person, the world doesn't know you exist. The world doesn't know what you can do. So no one is lining up to hire you at this point because the world doesn't yet understand. The world hasn't clearly received the message of what it is that the value that you bring, the value of what you offer, and how you can help make their lives better. As a result of them not understanding that, not knowing who you are, not knowing what you're about, not knowing about the value that you offer, about the skill that you have, you're not getting hired. And so you're left with this tension of, you're good at what you do, you're talented, you have high levels of skill, but the business isn't taking off or the career isn't taking off. I see this a lot right now with recent college graduates. They are very, very talented at what they're doing, at what they learn to do. They have become very skilled. They know how to do stuff. They are very qualified to get started in their field, and yet they can't get jobs. And some of that is the job market situation for sure, but it's also a lot of it is these kids were not taught how to market themselves. They were taught how to do a skill by the college or the university that they went to. They learned how to do a skill. What they didn't learn is, how do I get my name out there? How do I market myself? How do I position myself? How do I make myself stand out? How do I make myself become very, very well known as the person that somebody wants to hire, as somebody's looking at it and going, I want to bring that person on. That's what we're looking for. That's exactly what we need. That wasn't taught to them. And as a result, because they don't know how to acquire jobs, they don't know how to market themselves, eventually what happens for them is they get stuck. They hit these places where they can't find a good job. They can't find the place where that will hire them. So they end up being underemployed for a significant period of time until they can finally get through and get somebody to hire them. A business owner will eventually run out of leads. Unless you're one of these people that is endlessly knocking on doors, that is endlessly networking and hustling, you're eventually going to run out of leads. You're eventually going to run out of people that you can network with. And when that does, inevitably, what is going to happen is the business is going to run out of steam. The business is going to slow down because you're going to hit the point. It's like, I don't know who else to reach out to. I don't know who else to talk to. And the only way to do it is to constantly be the ultra extrovert, join new groups, go to new meetings, go to new events, constantly be shaking hands, constantly introducing yourself, constantly networking. It's either that or give up and realize that, I guess this business thing wasn't for me. Or there's another path, which is you need to learn the skill of marketing. You need to learn the skill of being able to know how to effectively get your name out there, how to effectively let people know what it is that you do. Now, here's the little bit of the rub with this. A lot of people are hesitant to want to go down this path and want to go down the path of marketing. And that's because there's a lot of people out there that are, we'll just say, a little bit of shady type marketers. We'll just be honest, they're not honest about what they're doing. They're not really forthright. They are, you know what I'm saying. They're very a little sleazy, they're a little manipulative. They're not always very honest. And so it gets a bad name because there's a few bad apples out there. There's a few people out there that are doing it incorrectly. But here's the truth. When marketing is done well, it doesn't feel like marketing. When marketing is done really, really properly, it doesn't feel like marketing at all. It doesn't feel like this is, a difficult thing that you like. If you've ever gone into a store, if you ever gone in to meet with somebody and you were thinking about buying a new piece of furniture, you were thinking about possibly joining the gym, you were thinking about possibly, buying a car, and you went in a little apprehensive, but you met this person who was just very, very helpful. And they were very, very much answering your questions. They were asking you exactly what it is that you're looking for. They were asking you all these good questions to make sure that you found the right solution for you. And at the end, you're like, wow, that was really helpful. Yes, I do want to do this because this is exactly what I'm looking for. This is exactly the right fit for me. This is the solution that I need in my life right now. This is good for me. And you don't feel like you are marketed to at all. My son right now is working in a job at the local gym, at the health club, where he's at, and his job is sales. His job is really selling memberships over there, and he is really killing it in sales. He's a really gifted in this, and he's really good at selling. And he even confessed to me the other day that about a quarter of all new members coming into the gym are people that he brought in. Of all the people on the sales team, almost a quarter of all of them are him. So about almost 25% of all the new members to the gym are being brought in by one individual. And I'm going, so what's your method? How are you doing this? He goes, everyone else is trying to sell. Everyone else is trying to push the gym. I just ask them questions. I find out what's important to them. What do you need? What are you trying to achieve? And as a result, he's signing people up left and right because he's matching their desires, their wishes, their needs with what it is that the gym can offer them. The same thing is true for you in your business as you are marketing yourself and your services. Marketing does not need to be pushy. It does not need to be manipulative. It does not need to be sleazy. And I've had so many times where I've gone into a store or I've got into a place and had a salesperson help me make a buying decision. And at the end, I was extremely grateful for them. I was so happy that they helped me find the right product, the right solution that I needed. I didn't feel sold at all. I actually would highly recommend somebody go and talk to this person because they were helpful. Marketing that is done well is helpful. It clarifies, it inquires and finds out, what do you really need? What is it that's important to you? What are the things that you're looking for? And as a result, here's how I can match them to you. But here's the thing, if nobody knows that you exist, if nobody knows that you're out there and all the amazing gifts and talents that you have, people aren't going to sign up to work with you. So we have to be able to learn how to get past our fear of marketing. We have to learn how to let go of that. Learn that good marketers are not sleazy, manipulative, or slimy at all. They're helpful. But they are also persistently putting their name out there. They're also persistently letting people know who they are. They're letting people know. They're starting conversations. They're getting themselves in front of the audiences that they know where they need. I need to be in front of this audience right here. I need to be talking to those people. This is important. And so they persistently go out there and get in front of those people. That is how people learn about them and know, like, oh, wow, you are really good at this. You are really gifted. You are really talented. Yeah, I want to bring you on. You're amazing. You're going to help me out a ton with what I need. How can I hire you? How can I bring in your stuff? How can I pull in what it is that you do? That becomes the marketing. And by doing that, you become a person who learns how to bring in clients. But it's that visibility. It's the persistence of always going out there, always knowing how to make yourself known without being pushy, without being sleazy, without being annoying, but constantly having people know, oh yeah, if you need help with that, that's the person. That's who you need to talk to. They're really good at this. Yeah, and because people know you. And that's something that is critical. You have to be visible. You have to let yourself be known. The next thing that I really want to talk about is positioning. This is something that is incredibly important. Okay. This is something that is incredibly important as well. It's not just to let yourself be known, but it's to let yourself be known as to why they need to hire you. Why specifically? And this is where too many people go too broad. This is where too many people get very, very broad and say, well, I want to offer as many things as I can. So I appeal to as many people as I can. So I can do as many things as I can for people so that I can, you know, so that I can, I can have as many options as I can. That's actually the opposite of what is appealing. Because most people, when they feel that, when they hear people say, oh, I offer all of these different things, it just feels too general. And you're sitting there going, but this is my specific problem. This is the thing that I specifically need help with. And it just sounds like everything you do is just very generic. But when you get very specific and say, no, this is where I'm really good. This is where I'm really, really helpful. This is where I really shine in these areas and helping with these specific issues. If you need help specifically with this, I'm your guy. I'm the one who can do it for you. I'm the one who can bring it about. I'm the one who can get you the solution. Oh, and then not only that, you start developing a reputation and people start to learn like, oh, you're stuck with that. Oh, David's the guy you need to go talk to. David's the one you need to meet with, or maybe as well with you. Maybe, you have that same reputation starting to be developed. Oh, you need help with that. That's your person right there. That's the person you need to go talk to because they're the ones that know how to get it done. They're the ones that know how to get an answer. They're the ones that know how to get a solution. And when you do that, when you get that clarity, when people know specifically, that's it. That's the person, that's the go-to person for this. It becomes a laser beam. All of your competitors, all the other options suddenly fade to black because they get the clear answer. Yes, this isn't a person that provides a generic answer. This is a person that's specifically dedicated to work with people like me. That's why we do not, we help people build online businesses, but we don't help everybody build an online business. We help people who want to be coaches, course creators, speakers, and trainers. Those are the people that we target. Those are the people that we focus on to help build online businesses. We don't help people who want to sell insurance. We don't help people who want to do e-commerce. We don't help people who want to do fitness. It's really not our niche. It's not our specialty. We know that if you are wanting to be a coach, if you are wanting to be a trainer, if you want to do courses, speak, over here, we're your group. We're your people. We're the ones that we're specifically designed to help. And again, this is one of those I hear all the time. Well, then if I niche too tightly, if I get too narrow in my focus, I won't get any people. There won't be enough people for me to market to, which is completely false. Again, in our last business, I used to tell this to people all the time. There are approximately 8 billion people on the planet. And we had a coaching business that was highly successful. We had 2,000 clients. We had an annual conference that drew in over 500 people a year. We had multi-million dollars in revenue coming in every single year. And we had 2,000 clients. And you're thinking, wow, that's pretty successful. And we were, a pretty good sized coaching program at this point. We were considered large in the coaching space. Now think about this. Think about 8 billion people in the planet. And we had considered a large coaching business with 2,000 clients. Proportionally, what percentage is 2,000 of 8 billion? It's a fraction of a fraction of a fraction. You don't need to appeal to the huge, broad audience. You need to be the perfect answer for a small group within that 8 billion person audience. You need to know that those are my people. That's the audience that I am specifically suited to serve, because when those people hear you speak, when those people read what you're writing, what information you're putting out there, they're going to go, you get me. You understand me. You know how to help me. You understand what I'm going through. You understand and relate to my problem. This is somebody that isn't just coming in and We've all had these times where someone comes in, we're looking at somebody to fix something, maybe it's even in our yard or around our house. And I could probably do it. And you go, I don't know about this person. Yeah, I could probably do it. Or I have 15 years of experience doing I've working specifically with this type of thing. I've solved this problem for other people 100 times. Okay, that's the person I want to hire. You understand? That's the person I want to work with because they know specifically how to do it. Not the person who says, yeah, I could probably figure that out and do that. I have general experience in that area. No, it's the same thing as going on for your audience. They want to know specifically, do you know how to help me? I don't want to spend a bunch of money, waste a bunch of time, invest a bunch of my life into something that isn't going to really necessarily answer what I'm looking for. But, and again, we all see advertisements all the time on social media. We see all these things coming at us constantly, always talking to us about, oh, we can do this for you, we can do that, and they're all generally pointing in a similar direction based on what our interests are. We get targeted based on what our interests are on social media. And so every once in a while, the vast majority of those ads get ignored. I know I do. I look at most of them going, blah, 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 blah. I'm not interested in any of this stuff. I just ignore all of it. But every once in a while, once in a blue moon, I will see an ad that is specifically targeted to what I'm doing right now. I will look at that ad and go, oh my word. That is exactly what I'm struggling with. That is exactly the problem I'm trying to solve right now. And I will be drawn to that ad like a laser. I will immediately click on it and I want to read more what this is. What does this say? What is this about? How can this help me? How can this be useful to me? How can this solve my problem? How can this be something that I can use? This might be exactly what I need. And where I go for all the general stuff, all the stuff that is too broad, I look at that and I just ignore. But the stuff that's targeted, the stuff that's highly niched and focused, bam, draws me in, just pulls me in like a tractor beam. And I go, whoa, wait a minute. I need to look at this. This might be something that I need. Same thing is going to happen with your clients. Be specific. Know what it is that is the position that you hold in the marketplace. Don't try and go too broad. Don't try and be what everyone else is. Do not do that. Do not try and go and be what other people are. Be who you are. Be the person that you are called to be. Serve the clients in the way that you are called to serve them. Don't try and do it the way that somebody else is doing. Just because you see someone else and you see them being successful, you see them having a lot of things going right in their life, and you go, well, I should follow and emulate them. I should try and do what they're doing because they are very successful in this. No. All you're going to do is sound like a parrot. You're just going to sound like you're just repeating what someone else is saying. Sound like you. Come out with your style, your personality, your approach, your way of doing things. Make it yours. Because then people will say, that's a distinct person. That's a distinct brand. You're doing things differently. And you know what? This other person doesn't appeal to me at all, but I really like the way that you're doing things. I want to check you out. And you're going to find your audience. And because you position yourself properly as being the right person for the right solution for what your audience needs. Next, as you start doing that, and as you start bringing people to you, as you start bringing in and attracting the right audience, as you start bringing in the right people for you, how do you keep that going? How do you continue to keep the game running in the right direction? Well, so much of that comes down to leadership and consistency. Now, that is something that is incredibly, incredibly important. Leadership is going to mean that you are going to stay on top of your space, that you are going to be watching trends, that you're going to be seeing things that are going on, and you're going to be there and help lead your clients down the path of what they need to know. In the space that I work in right now, AI is a huge, huge thing. AI is going to revolutionize the coaching, course creation, all of that type of space, the online marketing space. It is going to revolutionize everything that we do. It is going to make a huge, huge difference in this world. So our clients are wanting to know, how can I utilize it? How does it work for me? What are ways that I can make it work? And how can I implement these things into the business that I'm building? You, as the coach, as the course creator, as the trainer and speaker, you need to be leading in this. You need to be reading about these things. You need to be knowing about how these things work, and you need to be out front so you can be helpful to your audience, so you can be useful to them, so you can show them the right way to use these new advances, to use these movements, to use these tools to benefit themselves. They are looking for you to lead. They're looking for you to be, ahead of the curve. So that's what leading in this. You need to be leading and always know where your industry is headed, where your space is headed, where are the new growth opportunities. You need to be on top of that so you can follow along and you can lead your people so they know that, hey, if I need to learn this, I just go to this person. I'm going to David because David will help me figure it out. Even if I don't know all these things, he'll help me. He'll know. So they will know to keep coming back to get help and advice on those areas. So you need to know that in your space as well, which is where you need to be staying on top of what it is, things that are happening, things that are changing, things that are going on in your world. Now, as well, you also need to be consistent. Consistency always matters as well. Sometimes when you're in a business and you get really good at what it is that you do, and you have a business that's just consistently helping people with problems, consistently solving things, consistently moving in a direction, sometimes the business owner can get a little itchy. And that is, I want to try something new. Because after a while, you've been helping people do the similar things over and over and over again. And you're like, I want to go into some new stuff. I want to try some new things. I want to push in a new area. I want to, dig into some new ground over here and try and come up with some new stuff. And what ends up happening is all of a sudden the business can start losing its focus. The business can start going in directions that don't really make sense. They don't really add up. It's like, why? Why are we doing this? This doesn't make sense. And I see this all the time. Businesses, all of a sudden, the business owner gets excited about something, says, oh, we're going to now offer these programs. And the client base is going, why? We don't want that. That's not what we want at all. Or I see with larger organizations is that as businesses get large, they think they need to start getting political. They need to start making political statements. They need to start getting involved in environmentalism or in political movements or in social justice movements. And I look at them going, why? What is the mission of your business? You sell furniture. You do oil changes. You run a fitness club. Why are you getting involved in all these other things? It's not your mission. And all you're doing is making people angry. All you're doing is making a large group of your client base upset and making them feel like, I don't belong here anymore. No, stay consistent with your mission. Know what it is why you are here. Know what your mission, know your purpose of who it is that you are called to serve. Keep that out in front of you at all times. Because when you do that, you will keep attracting the right people that you are called to serve. Don't get distracted. Don't get bored. Don't get off track and start thinking, I want to try some new things. Because after a while, you've done this thing for so long, when you've done it for 20 years, there's a tendency like, I don't want to do this anymore because I'm kind of bored with it. I want something new. But for your clients, it's new to them. They're experiencing it for the first time. So they're not bored at all. Don't lose your focus. If the industry as a whole shifts, fine. But don't switch your focus away from serving your clients the thing that they are so much looking for your help with, just because you think something else is now interesting, or because you have a passion about some political or social movement type thing. If you want to get involved in those things, fine, do it on your own. Do it on your personal side. Don't make your business about things other than the mission, which is you have a niche of where you're supposed to serve clients. So to wrap up, to kind of bring all of this around and to kind of bring all of the ideas together, visibility over talent. You can be an incredibly talented person. You can be an incredibly gifted individual, but unless you're making sure that people know that you're out there, unless you learn how to market yourself, unless you learn how to put yourself out there, you're not going to go very far. You may have a few clients that you can get out of the gate, but after those run dry, how are you going to keep a stream of new leads coming in? How are you going to keep a new stream of new clients coming in? The only way that happens is if you learn how to market. Learn how to do a marketing plan. It doesn't have to be complicated. It can be fairly simple, but you need a way of generating new opportunities or leads, and you need a way of turning those leads into customers. That's a simple thing that has to be there if you're going to have long-term success. Number two, you need to have clear positioning in what it is that you do. You need to have it clearly defined as to what it is that you specialize in. Where is it that you specifically shine? And you need to dial that niche in as tight as you can be. Because the more that you can dial that niche in, the better off it is, because the more your clients will know specifically why they should come to you for help. Why it is that you're the person that can help them. Not some generic answer, but highly, highly specific. Lastly, be consistent in what it is that you do. Don't lose focus. Don't lose sight of what your mission is. Don't start going off on tangents. Don't lose the leadership position that you have by failing to stay on top of new movements and new things. Stay in front and stay focused on what it is that you're doing. And finally, if there's anything that we can do to help you grow your business, to help you with what it is that you're doing, we'd love to have a conversation with you. Check us out at designlaunchgrow.com. You can learn more about everything that it is that we're doing there. Fill out an application. We'd love to have a conversation with you and see if this is something that we can help you with. Otherwise, have an amazing day, and I will talk to you again very soon.